Hey. How's it going? You right there. You, Jonathan, watching this video right now? I hope you have a great day, man. Everyone else, I hope you have a terrible day. No, of course I'm joking. But welcome back to some more of my survival world. It's been a little bit. Allow me to explain. As I'm sure almost all of you know, I recently started a new job at the beginning of November. I'm still kind of getting used to that, so, you know, I'm still trying to get used to my new schedule, new hours, trying to find free time, all that fun stuff. But, you know, I'm slowly getting there. Definitely way more used to the job now than I was, like, earlier in November, so that shouldn't be too much of a factor going forward now. But other than that, I went up to Penn State a couple weeks ago, and I left Penn State with a fiance now. So that's awesome. That's pretty cool. A good bit of planning went into that, so that's where some of my time went over here these last couple of weeks. But thank you to everyone who liked the tweet that I posted the day that it happened. I'm super excited. Her and I both went to Penn State, and it means a lot to us. So I'm just glad it was able to go incredibly well. I'm glad I was able to do it out there. She loves the ring. It was a good time. I'll try to remember to put some pictures on the screen too of everything. But along with that, I was also sick for the last like week and a half. So that made it incredibly hard to work on videos, and I didn't even want to edit, dude. I was going through it. Had a lot of like chest congestion. It sucked very badly. And then finally, I got a new computer. I just built it over the weekend with my friend Andrew, and this thing is a tank. Let me open up F3 for a second. I have 500 frames sometimes. This thing's insane. Hold on, let me just pop on some shaders. And with shaders, dude, I'm still over 200 frames at like 29 render distance or something. This computer is ridiculous. I am worried though that it didn't save all of my data when I like transferred over the world, because as you can see, I have to destroy a tree in like the upper right corner there. I hope it didn't like reset all my achievements or my advancements or whatever. It doesn't look like it, so that's good. Some of the stats on this world might not be completely accurate now because, like I said, I had to transport this world over from my old computer. I'll also try to throw some pictures on screen of my new PC. This thing is ridiculous. It's like twice as big as my other one. I'll probably have to get a new desk here in a minute too, because it just doesn't fit underneath my desk where my other computer was chilling. This thing is a mammoth. But honestly, I only really have you all to thank for this. I'm so happy that I'm able to get a new computer and hopefully just, you know, up the quality of videos for you guys at least a little bit here. You know, if this series hadn't taken off as well as it did, if my channel wasn't growing as much as it was, probably wouldn't have been able to get a beefy computer like this. So honestly, thank you all so much. This thing is insane. I think that's about everything that I have going on at the moment. Those are the reasons why, you know, it's taken me, I don't even know how long, like a month maybe since the last episode was posted. Maybe more than that by the time I get to editing this. But it's been a little while. It's been a minute. Last episode, though, we did work on this nether portal over here. Kind of have this, like, ruined nether portal sort of thing inside this mountain. I think it looks actually really cool. Pop into free cam here to show you this. I think this actually came along really well. We have a different tree type. I tried to make a weeping willow. Didn't exactly come across. I still think the tree looks nice. I like the shading of the leaves and stuff. And like the details on the logs look really nice as well. I still have to remember to put like a spruce slab or something on that piece of acacia right there. But yeah, in general, I think this tree looks pretty good. I got some good suggestions in the comments that I can add to my future willow trees. I don't think I've really said this, but I've kind of made it like a personal sort of goal thing with me building a tree every episode. I'm trying not to go back and tweak previous trees. I want to leave them as they were in the episode, so I'm not going to fix this one with all the suggestions I got in the comments. Instead, I'm just going to use those suggestions for another weeping willow tree that I'll build here either today or, you know, in the near future. I just kind of like having the trees exactly as they were in their episodes, just so I can kind of see like the progression. Like this was the first one. Over here was the second one. You know, they kind of just very slowly got better. And I really like where my trees are at the moment. I think I've gotten a lot of great suggestions from you all in the comments. Speaking of suggestions, though, we have a new pup. So Phantom, or there he is, Phantom and Mangrove had a baby, which I have to name right now. So let me grab a name tag. The name I'm going to choose is Ishigaki, and this is from Lavana Ruro. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. But it's from them. Thank you so much for the suggestion. If this is completely true, this is a perfect name suggestion. They suggested it because it's the name of a phantom mangrove forest in Japan, also known as the Ghost Forest. So if that's completely true, if that lore is entirely accurate, this is a perfect name. If it's not completely accurate, then whatever. I'm still going to name it Ishigaki. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. But there we go. We have a nice, happy family of pups. I have to get them armadillo armor. That's what I'm going to do right now, actually. I kind of didn't really have a plan for like the beginning here, or honestly this entire episode. I kind of just wanted to start recording since I got my computer set up. I have a couple ideas of what I could work on today. I think one of the things I'm going to work on today is the pond. This one over here. I still haven't filled this in with water or decorated it at all. But I think I want to work on this here in a second after I get some wolf armor. But like the main goal of the episode, I actually have no idea what I'm going to do. Also, do I actually have to like go through the game again? Like, can you stop? I know what I'm doing. I hope those notifications don't continuously pop up. Let me get a brush though. How do I make one? Copper? I think it's copper. Yeah, I want to say it's copper, a stick, and maybe some feathers, though I don't have any feathers. You know, I befriended a couple chickens so early in this world that I kind of feel bad killing any more. Oh, what a snipe from your boy. Also, this idiot's getting 360'd. Ready? I have no idea if I killed the skeleton or not, but I'm just going to say I did. I'm already completely all over the place in this episode, so before I get any wolf armor, let me actually name the YouTube members. I gotta get into a habit of actually doing this like right away. It has honestly been so long since I've named any YouTube members that I have to go back and check where I left off. So I'm gonna use this time walking down to the council hall to kind of talk about the YouTube membership in general, because I've gotten a lot of comments about it lately. So if you would like to be named a block in this world and displayed up on an invisible item frame in this building right here, you can go ahead and click the link in the description and become a Shram. I think it's $2 a month, $1.99 a month, $2.99 a month, something like that. I've been asked before if it's free. It is not free. It is a monthly fee, but you will be cemented in this world forever. You can also choose the block. I don't know if there's a good way of like doing that, like just integrating that into YouTube. If I could, you know, do some more work behind the scenes and when you sign up, you can pick it. I don't know if there's a way to do that. So what I've been doing is just taking suggestions from the comments. So if you become a Shram, you can tell in the comments, you'll have like a little thing next to your name, a little emblem. So if you tell me that you want to be named a specific block, I will do my best to get that block for you. I will say though that if it's a block that I can only get like a finite number of, like a limited number of, like the dragon egg or something, I won't be picking those blocks. So just make it a block that I can just go mine in the game or something. All right, I know where I am now. We're good. I have 6 new YouTube members to introduce. So everyone welcome Alpha, Shalom Sims, Totality, which I will actually come back to in a second, Bo Daddy, A_Camry, and Hunter's Ghoul to the membership hall. You guys look beautiful on the wall. So with Totality here, they actually asked to be a piece of crying obsidian. I don't have any crying obsidian at the moment. I have to go find a ruined portal for that. So maybe on my travels when I'm going to get some wolf armor, I can find a piece of crying obsidian. But for now, just a regular piece of obsidian will do, and hopefully I can remember to come back. And I have to change 2 other blocks. So, Kitty Cat Kilala, right here. Instead of a spruce fence gate, you are now a piece of cherry leaf. And last but certainly not least, T. Riddler, who is Shay Davis. I think is this piece of rooted dirt up here, right? Yes. Bang. All right, there we go. Hopefully I got everybody. If I missed anyone, please let me know. And also, I guess I can actually use these blocks by just placing them down, breaking them, and now they're not named anymore. I literally always forget to turn my clouds back on. I turn them off whenever I have shaders on because shaders just has clouds, like, automatically. So I always turn these, like, the better clouds off. Always forget to turn those bad boys back on. But now, let me get prepared. I just stripped that piece of wood. Did not mean to do that. It's also been a while, but let's take Ghost for a little ride. I'm gonna head back towards the savanna biome. I do have to find a couple chickens on the way back, though. I'm like 80% sure you need feathers for these brushes. I'm so sorry to do this, chicken. And I know these brushes break very, very quickly when you are using it on an armadillo. So let me get another chicken or two here. I got 4 feathers now. Should be plenty. Also, though, did Ghost always have this many hearts? No, Ghost did not always have this many hearts. Look, this is from the first episode in the series. Is it because I, like, transported my world over? Did somehow Ghost's, like, in-game data get overwritten? I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. But you're still Ghost to me, okay? You might have different stats and whatnot, but you're still my boy. I am gonna get some crying obsidian, though, from this portal. I'm assuming you can mine it, right? Like, no way I have to only get it from piglins, right? All right, awesome. So I'll try to remember to name Totality after this this block when I get back home. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what the item is even called that you get from armadillos here. So obviously, I have 0 idea how many of these I actually need. I wonder if I'll have to come back, or if 4 brushes worth is gonna be enough for 3 dogs. Oh, there's an armadillo. Okay, can I just use this one armadillo, or do I need a bunch? Oh, you can only get 4 pieces from each brush? Oh, I got a little more than that, actually. I got 17. Alright, how does this work? Wolf armor. Oh, just like that. That's simple. I can only make 2. Let me go kill another chicken. Hold on. So sorry to do this. Hello? Little armadillo. There you are. You're blending in with the pig. Alright. So that should be enough for the 3 sets of armor that I need. And also, I'm pretty sure you can dye this, right? I can. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna make mangroves red. Because obviously, mangrove wood. I think phantoms being like black would be cool. Black or gray, I think would be interesting. I am just now realizing, though, to get black dye, I'm gonna have to go find an ocean. I kind of don't want to do that. So instead, I'm just gonna make light gray wolf armor for phantom. I think that works. And then Ishigaki, whatever, you're gonna be blue. All right, so mangrove, red armor. Oh, look, dude, that's adorable. I love that. Phantom, the gray armor, and then Ishigaki, the blue armor. I love that. That's a nice little feature they added to this game. I'm glad they did that. And also, I did not forget. Here we go. Totality. Bang. Crying obsidian. And now that that is finally completed, it's probably very long overdue that I finally got those dogs' armor. I'm going to work on that pond that's just like right over there. It's going to be in a very similar style to the pond by the mining building that we made in like episode 3, I want to say, somewhere around there. And I think because I kind of already went through my thought process the first time with that first pond, I'm just going to time-lapse this one. I might do a couple different techniques here, but if I change anything, I'll describe it at the end. Also, the reason why I want to time-lapse this is because I'm not too great at building like naturally forming things on camera. Usually takes me a really long time of like trial and error. That's kind of why I didn't show too much of this as well in the last episode. Trying to make like a natural opening like that was pretty hard for me. But let me cut it to a time lapse. We're going to design this whole pond area, and I think it's going to look great. As of right now, the pond isn't too decorated. I'll probably sprinkle in some foliage on the outside of the pond here in a little bit. Kind of like what we did over here with like the sugar cane and the pieces of leaves and the fallen trees and stuff. I'll probably do the same kind of thing over here, but I'm probably going to wait until I build a custom tree around this in order to decorate the rest. And honestly, I'm unsure if I'm going to make that tree today or not, but I do know I want like 1 or 2 more willow trees surrounding this pond. I think that would look really cool. Like I said, though, I'm unsure if that's going to be the tree for today or if that'll be in a future episode. But I do think the pond is in a good spot for right now. It's at least a lot better looking than it was before when it was just like a weird hole in the ground with some torches sticking out. But I'm just kind of cleaning up my work site here. And as I'm doing this, I can talk about the main build for the episode, because I think I figured out what I want to do. I'm going to build a library. I'm sure you all know that by now. I most likely put it in the title of this video. But I think it's about time I start getting villagers in this area, and a library seems like a good place to kind of store them for now. Obviously, I will eventually populate the library with only librarians, but I feel like I can probably use it as like a villager breeder for the time being. I'm not going to make an automatic villager breeder, but as long as I, drag a couple villagers back here, have some beds, give them some food, I can just naturally breed them up and then kind of move them to the correct houses. I do have a color palette in my head though. So let me go ahead and clear out my inventory here. I have so many animals in this barn. Oh my. But let me go clean out my inventory and then I can go over that color palette. I think I'm leaning towards putting this build in this area somewhere, kind of next to the pond that we just made. So let me lay out the color palette right here, or at least the idea that I have at the moment. We're going to have a tough foundation. And on top of this foundation, we are going to have some upside down stairs, much like I did in the apiary a couple episodes back. So that'll be like the main foundation of the build. I think this gives a really cool effect. On top of here then, we are going to have our spruce beams, and then inset one block will be the rest of the walls, which will be out of probably mainly oak wood. We're going to kind of continue this trend. So oak wood, jungle, birch, all the fun stuff that we've kind of been using for the walls. But then the second floor is where this one is going to get a little bit interesting. I don't have any like spruce slabs on me at the moment to really section this off, so it's going to look a little awkward. But the second floor is going to be out of white blocks. At the moment, I only really have diorite, but I'll add some like calcite into here, concrete powder most likely as well, and maybe some terracotta as well. I just don't remember which one exactly. It might be white. Yeah, white terracotta. Okay, I like the color of that a lot. You kind of mix that in with these other white blocks. Like the white terracotta isn't really white. It's like closer to pink, I would say. But it just adds like a cool effect to these walls. It just gives them some nice character. And then for the roof, I don't have the blocks on me right now, but it's going to be like cyan colored. So imagine this copper is all oxidized. So obviously this doesn't look good right now, but this is the idea for this build. I think this is actually going to work out. I think these colors are going to look nice together. And we're going to throw on the big swoopy roof that we've been using pretty much everywhere. But I think I will finally use some warped wood in this build. I want to use that in the roof here, because obviously this copper is not going to be this color. I want the oxidized version, but I want a lot of the warped wood, the warped root stuff, whatever it is, in the nether, so I'm gonna have to take a trip in there. I'm also just gonna need to gather a whole bunch of random materials as well, because I don't have many white blocks on me, so I'm gonna need to go get a bunch of those. Probably need some wood types as well, and it probably wouldn't hurt to gather some spruce and some tuff as well. So let me go break a ton of blocks, and I'll be right back to kind of talk about things more in depth. As you can see behind me, it's Christmas. Well, actually, it's Christmas Eve. The chests have been retextured into these little presents. I always love this. They're adorable. I mean, they look completely out of place, like everywhere that I have chests, like over there and stuff. But it's a cute addition. I like it. So to everyone watching who celebrates Christmas, I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. And also, just in general to everyone else, I hope you had a great holiday season. But it's time to build. All right, I have a lot of blocks in here. Whole bunch of stones down here. Bunch of like wall color blocks that actually bleeds into this chest as well. And we also have like the roof. I finally found a warped biome in the nether. Actually wasn't too far away. It's kind of like a straight shot. I'll show you whenever I go back in the nether again, but kind of a straight shot from where we, enter the nether. So it's not actually all that bad. I do have some interesting blocks here as well. We have some white terracotta and some mushroom stem. Not too much of either of these blocks, but I think these will look really, really cool with the rest of the white blocks as like a little shadowy kind of effect, or just to make the walls look worse, if you know what I'm saying. Like they look older, not as perfect, you know? I think that'll be a great effect. I can even throw in some like stripped birch in here too, somewhere in this like little gradient we have. I don't know. It's just something that I'll mess around with here when we actually start building. So let me go ahead and take down this small version of the build, and then I can figure out the shape of this thing, because honestly I haven't given that too much thought yet. Oh, I should actually also mention that there is another block that I did want to use, but I don't have access to one of the ingredients for it. I wanted to use some cyan concrete powder. That looks really good with the warped wood, but unfortunately I don't have any green dye or cactus or anything like that. I have no idea where the nearest desert is. I don't think I've found one yet. So that's something that I'll find eventually. Maybe once I get Elytra, I can really fly around this world and find all the missing biomes that I don't already have. It's cool riding Ghost and going out thousands of blocks, but it does get a little bit tedious, I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing that I do want to use Elytra for, just really, really far traveling. But, you know, for the time being, I think I have enough, like, teal and cyan colored blocks to make this roof look interesting. Gonna use, obviously, a lot of the stripped warp stem, use some warped planks, use some oxidized cut copper, which we also have laying about around here. It's like a stack and, like, 16 or so pieces of copper chilling over here. And then also, I figured I could work that into some mossy cobblestone and maybe even some moss just in some sections of the roof. I think that'll just add some character to it. But let me clear out an area over here to actually build this thing, and I'm just gonna make it pretty ugly for now. Oh, this is not double layered. Should have listened to Fwip, man. Fwip always says to double layer your grass. I'm never gonna learn from my mistakes. I'm not double layering it. I think this should probably be enough space, at least to get started here. I can always carve away more of this grass. I'm imagining this build will be a similar size to this one over here, so I feel like this should be a good start. And I think we can kind of let it chill in the back here as like the main rectangle, and then we can branch off a couple different rooms and just make it look unique. So let me grab some tuff. I'm just gonna start with the basic tuff block just to get the shape of everything, then we can come back in and texture. I think I'm gonna kind of do a shape that I've never really done before, so this looks very familiar, I'm sure. I've made plenty of buildings just using like 2 rectangles like this, but I think I want to incorporate a tower into this building, and I think like in this little junction right here would be a cool spot for it. And this tower is going to be circular, so that's where things are gonna get a little bit weird. Yeah, okay, so I think this size will actually work pretty well for this building. I might even be able to make the tower a little bit skinnier, like kind of as we go up. But I think the base size being this will be nice. And this will look cool, right? So like this overhangs with the building, like over here, obviously. But once I start like throwing in the roof, I'll just kind of have this section just come out of the roof there. And I think it's going to actually look really sick. So for the time being, I'm just going to leave this circle here just so I kind of don't get confused. And I think there should be another room on the left here. Looks a little bit too cluttered in the middle. So let me just kind of pop into here, get rid of some of this dirt. We can extend just one more room back this way. Yeah, that'll look pretty cool, I think. And actually, I'm gonna extend out this section over here just a tad bit more. Yeah, okay, now I'm happy with this. Awesome, all right. So let me go ahead and throw these stairs upside down on top of all those tuff blocks that I just placed. And I think I'm still gonna do this all with tuff, and then I'll swing back through, like I said, and texture it up a little bit. Do I not have a stone cutter? What a rookie mistake. But I really like this foundation design. I think this looks awesome with the upside down stairs like this. And I shouted them out when I did this in the apiary building. But this is very heavily inspired by Mr. Matt Ranger. You know, people usually ask me where I get all my inspiration from, and for a while I would say like Fwip, Mythical Sausage, B-dubs, and only say them. I still definitely get inspiration from those guys, but Mr. Matt Ranger is very quickly becoming the person I get it the most from. His builds are just amazing. I don't even know how to describe it, dude. He just does everything so perfectly. Like, even this build here is kind of inspired by a build I saw just in his YouTube banner. I'll show that on screen here right now. I'm not taking all that many aspects from that build specifically. I mean, in that one, he uses, like, you know, a white color palette for some of the walls. He has a tower in the build as well. So those aspects, like, I'm kind of, you know, taking some inspiration from, but I just saw that build and just kind of thought of doing this. It's just how this game works a lot of the time. That's where I normally think of things to build, honestly, just looking at other people's stuff. I do think I'm now at the spot where I can probably texture this, and I literally never bring enough moss. I'm gonna have to get more. Unless I go a little bit light on the moss. I think I'll probably just have to go a little bit lighter on the moss in this build, but that shouldn't really be a problem. All right, so we got this foundation now completely put together, and it's looking pretty good, in my opinion. This will be a nice sized building, and I think it's gonna fit the area incredibly well. I was able to work in a little bit of moss, but like I said before, I didn't want to use too much of it, considering I really don't have that much. I think I can retire a lot of these stone blocks for the time being, and honestly, I'll put away the moss too. I feel like I might not throw a second floor on this building. I kind of think it might just be a little bit too big, but I still want to use the white blocks somewhere, and I have an idea, but I'm worried it might be a little bit too similar to the building Matt built. What I'm thinking is I could potentially just use the white walls for this like side room here and this front room here, and then the main rectangle will be like oak and jungle and stuff. Honestly, I think I'm gonna rock with that. And then I might reach out to Matt and see if he's all right with me doing this. That sounds like a good plan to me. Regardless of what I end up doing though, I'm going to be putting in these spruce pillars for sure. And I don't know, do I want those corner ones? I think I do. Yeah, so regardless of what I do, I'm gonna throw in these spruce pillars. So let me start doing this and then we could figure out the rest. Looks a little messy right now, but we have the whole building framed out. This section's still a bit weird just because of the tower, so kind of leaving that completely open. But now that these beams are in, I think I can start talking about the wall colors. And I'm gonna start with the white walls. I'm just gonna start here by throwing down some calcite, and I'll kind of break into this to texture. And of course I forgot scaffolding. Why would I remember scaffolding? Got some scaffolding now, so let me break away some of this calcite and toss in a few of these more interesting blocks. Just gotta make sure though, every time I break this mushroom block, I silk touch it, because you need silk touch to get this block back. All right, so those are the wall colors that I'm thinking of. And I think that's gonna look really cool if I do that everywhere. Like, you back up a little bit, and that terracotta and mushroom just kind of nicely blend together with the white blocks, in my opinion. It just looks like it's a more worn or like damp section of the build or something. And that's kind of the idea, you know? All right, I like that a lot. I'm thinking of making this tower white as well. And using this effect on a bigger scale build, I think will look a lot better. But even in small scale here, this looks nice. But since I am thinking of making this tower white, I kind of feel like I want to make this front room out of wood instead of making it out of the white blocks. I just feel like having a white room here and then a white tower directly next to it won't look great. At least from what I'm capable of doing, you know? So let me take away all these white blocks for the time being. I just grabbed them all for some reason. And let me start throwing in these walls. Hang on a second. Before I do that, I need to switch this pillar around. It was not symmetrical. Before, that pillar was on this block here, so it didn't look right. Unfortunately, I made this an even number across, but it's fine. I'll work with it. I've been trying to mess around a little bit lately in having like a variety of depth in my walls. So for example, I'm gonna have the walls directly next to the pillars in this little like 2-block section. But then in these walls, these 6-block sections, the walls are gonna be pushed back 1 block like this. And then similarly over here, gonna have this directly up against these 2 pillars, and the same here. So these sections, the blocks are gonna be directly up against the pillars. And I think it's gonna make the build just look a little bit more unique. You kind of saw me do this in the past here with this building. Like, there's depth here in this wall, but then this wall here is directly in line with the pillars. And I think it just makes for a more unique shape, you know? And you've seen me detail walls like this a million times in this series with these exact blocks. So let me just get this done real fast and then I'll be right back. All of the oak walls are now in. I think it's looking pretty solid. Still kind of weird just because there's this huge gap where the tower is going to go. So I think I'm going to start working on that just so I can make myself feel a little bit better about this build. So what I'm thinking is I can continue building up the stone part of this tower, maybe just a couple more blocks. And I'll just go through with regular tuff for now and then I'll retexture it. Where is this spider? Oh, they can spawn under there. All right, anyway, what I was saying, let me build this up with just regular tuff blocks. I don't know how high I want to go on this level. I'm thinking then after this, we could bump the whole thing like in 1 block. I think that'll be a better shape. So maybe I'll bring this up to the level of this piece of wood here. And I know this side in here is gonna be like inside the house, so I'll probably end up taking this down. My brain just works a lot better if I just make the whole thing first and then take down what I don't need, you know? So I don't have regular tuff slabs on me, so I'm using these bricks, but kind of like the way this looks. I'll probably come back through and texture it with more blocks. But I'm thinking of this as like the foundation, right? I don't think that's too tall. I think that'll actually look all right. And then what I'll do is come through with these white blocks, and the tower will continue going up on this level. Yeah, okay, something like that. I think that actually looks pretty cool. And once I texture this up and detail it more and, you know, put windows and stuff in, I think that's actually gonna look pretty good. Gonna be tough to determine exactly how high I should make this before I put the roof on. Because once I put this like huge roof on top, I think I'll get a better understanding of how high this needs to go. So let's shift focus another time and move on to the roof of the main structure. This is how I build, man. This is my build process. I'm all over the place. There's a zombie villager under here. Wait, I actually kind of want to save that guy. Hang on a second. Hey, look at that. What's up, dude? How you doing? Cool. Didn't even mean to find a zombie villager like this, but I'll take it. I'll try to remember to cure that guy later. That's sick. That can be our first librarian, maybe. I think these are going to be the main blocks we use in this roof. I might even work in some mossy cobblestone all the way in the end. Just in some spots, I think that'll look pretty cool. But this is the kind of gradient I'm going to be rocking with. And I'm not going to just have it go from one layer to the next throughout the whole roof. I'll probably make most of the roof out of these 3 blocks over here. And then I'll just have these sections just kind of peeking through. Sort of how we did like every other roof. You know, like over here we have like a little bit of yellow in the top corner. On this roof here, it kind of has like patches of brown. This roof has patches of the copper. It'll probably be the same kind of design. I prefer doing roofs this way rather than making them just straight gradients. I think the gradients can still look nice. I don't know. I think I'm better at doing this. But this will be the block palette for the roof. Might be a little bit cluttered. Well, I should say it might look cluttered, but I think this roof will be big enough to make this kind of thing work. And of course, it's going to be framed by spruce wood, like pretty much every other roof that we have. Let me do one of those incredibly sick editing transitions again. So I'm just going to stare right here, open up this crafting table. And once I close out of the crafting table, the roof will be completely textured. Look at that, dude. The power of editing. I'm the best. But here's what the roof looks like. Very colorful. But I think it fits. I think it actually looks really cool. Especially like the further back you go, the colors just kind of work together really nicely. Especially in between there with the 2 versions of copper. That looks so good the further back you go. The stripped version of this wood is a little bit brighter than the planks. Like it's a bit jarring, I think, but honestly, it works. I would probably prefer to have some cyan concrete powder, maybe even over this wood, I'm not gonna lie. But for, you know, what I have on me, I think this is good. I was able to work in a little bit of the stone up here, but you know, I also sprinkled in some moss in a couple places just to get that green into the roof, and you know, I think it looks pretty solid. I did have to change it out at one point because I was using the stripped warped wood like oriented like towards me. Like I had this texture facing me, but it kind of it looked weird, I think. After I put it in a couple spots, I didn't like it, so I just made it all just the regular direction that I would normally make it. And I think it looks pretty solid. And now we can kind of figure out how tall I want to go with this tower. I think this is mostly good because I'm going to put like a room up here and then the roof, and the roof will be pretty tall. So honestly, I think this is solid. Let me start working on that room. And I think I'll probably do it out of oak. And you know what? Actually, hold on. Let me go back down here. I'm going to grab some spruce as well. I kind of have an idea for this that I think could look pretty cool. This might be a little bit too bulky up top, but let me see. I think that's definitely too bulky. And the more I'm kind of looking at this tower, I wish it was inset just a tad bit more. So I'm gonna take it down. It shouldn't actually take all that long to destroy. I think calcite's insta-mined with my pickaxe. So let me just tear this whole thing down and just move it over a little bit. I think I want the calcite to be like here. Let's just kind of shift it diagonally a couple blocks. I think that would look a lot better, and I think it would look like it was like a part of the build more. As of right now, it kind of seems too separate for me. Okay, I think that's better. It's inset a couple more blocks. To me, it looks like it's more part of the building. And we still have this little stone foundation piece in the corner here, and I think that looks pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna put a room up here. I was gonna have like a whole separate like tower room thing, but I just don't know if it's big enough for that, and I think if I try to like extend these out to put the room like I did before, it was just too bulky. So instead, I'm just gonna work on the roof. I don't know if I want stairs. Stairs might be too much. Honestly, I think I'm gonna get rid of those. Slabs and then trapdoor in the middle? Or do I want to reverse that? Might want to reverse that. Yeah, because then I can put slabs in the corners like that. Yeah, let's do that. And I do think this roof might be a little bit too small to have like a spruce trim going up and around each section, you know, kind of like how I did right here. So instead, I'm just going to work in these blocks immediately. And I want to make this one tall. Now, what does that look like? Oh, actually, pretty good. I can probably make that better with some like walls and slabs and stuff. But that looks solid. Just for the shape here. Let me go grab the rest of the texturing blocks, and then I can make this roof look exactly how I want it to. I would love to throw some prismarine into this, but, you know, obviously I don't have any. That would be perfect, just to, you know, have some walls creeping in. I could try some, like, mossy cobblestone for the walls. That could look decent from far away. You know, I'm never gonna really be that close. So it might work, but it might not at the same time. All right, so I actually think you are able to see it a little bit too much. So maybe I'll just keep it near the top, but maybe, like, down here with some of these blocks, I can get rid of these walls and I'll put like slabs or something. I think this actually looks pretty solid. Comes up to a nice little peak. And from down here, it looks good. Though, actually, hold on. One little tweak I think I want to make. I just fell down all of my scaffolding. One little tweak I want to make is the top, I want to lower it by just a block. Yeah, okay, that's pretty subtle, but I think I like that more. All right, so then this roof is almost done then. I think I'm just going to double up these trapdoors. And then I think that's the only other thing I wanted to do. That's a pretty cool looking roof. I think that looks better than these, for sure. I don't think these peaked up enough. Yeah, let me see what it looks like from the ground here if I'm just walking around. Yeah, dude, that looks good. All right, sweet. Once we put some windows and stuff on this build and really detail the rest of the exterior, this thing's actually gonna look amazing, I think. I was getting a little worried with this as I was going, as I always do with all my builds. I've talked about this so often, but there's always a point where I feel like the build isn't gonna look good. But lately, I've just been, you know, trusting the process and going through with my vision. And it has worked out so far in this world. Like, almost everything I've built so far, I thought it was going to look like crap when I finished it. But pretty much everything here I like. And this is definitely turning out the same way. All right, so now at this point, I just need to get all of the exterior decorations in place. I don't think I'm going to do anything, like, revolutionary here. With the exterior decoration, it's probably going to be incredibly similar to everything that we've done so far. So, let me throw all these decorations in place, and then I'll be back to show off the exterior, and then we can start working on the inside a little bit. I'm still in the progress of working on this build, but this wandering trader has showed up, and he has cactus. I don't have any cactus. I definitely want to go buy that. Also, I just woke up a little bit ago, so I apologize if I have morning voice, but I needed to show you guys this because getting cactus is pretty big for me right now, especially with the build that I'm even currently working on. If I have the ambition later, I'll go back through and throw in some cyan concrete powder. Honestly, though, I don't really think I'm gonna have it. But who knows? Maybe I'll surprise myself. I ended up doing an interior as well. I'm really bad at commentating interiors, so I kind of just like doing those off camera. But the build is done. I just need to add the villagers to it. Also, I have reached out to Matt just to ask if this build was too close to his, and he said it wasn't. He said I definitely made it my own, so that makes me feel a lot better. Anyway, though, this is the build in its entirety. And I think it turned out actually really, really well. I'll take you inside as well here in a second, but this thing just looks really cool. I love the tower. That tower turned out, like, super good. Very, very large fan of the texturing on it. I would like to add, like, another window on this side, but there's just not really enough space. Like, I can't add this same window that I added on these two sides here. And I'm also considering, instead of the gray stained glass here, I might just put, like, some kind of glow block, whether that be, like, a shroom light or glowstone or something, just to kind of make it look better, because I'll show you in a second, but the tower is actually not accessible from the inside. I could also potentially put a door on the outside here, but I don't think I'm going to. I think it'll just be like an aesthetic tower. One more thing I have to add on the outside here is like where these chests are. I put a sign so I didn't forget. I think like a tree or like a couple trees here with like a little reading area underneath it would be pretty cool. You'll kind of see over here, I have a little table. I kind of imagined like people can come here and sit down and read outside next to all these like little bushes and pieces of moss and stuff. I think this is a little like cozy area over here. And I kind of want to do a similar thing just out front, but I want to put a tree here too. I think that would be really nice. Maybe like a couple benches or something using some campfires. I don't know. I'll work on that here in a second. But then heading inside, I really like this interior actually. So I saw this design on Twitter. I will just say it now. This is not my design. It kind of looks like you're looking outside a little bit, you know? It kind of looks like a window. Just looking out into this mountain. Not exactly, right? You have to kind of squint a little bit maybe, I don't know. But I just think it's a really cool touch to this interior. Even if you only see it as a painting, I think it looks kind of cool. I will throw the tweet on screen that I saw, you know, that I got this inspiration from. But I really like this. I mean, I think I used like a different, you know, block combination to frame this thing. I don't think the one I saw has lecterns in it. I like these lecterns a lot right here, like these decorative lecterns here. And these will actually be useful whenever we get villagers in here. They can actually just use these, you know, when they're librarians and stuff. Also, you know, we got a lot of paintings in here. Got a couple different pieces of foliage. Got a few different bookshelves. They're all just chiseled bookshelves, so they're all entirely empty right now. I'll probably, you know, populate these with some books. I didn't really know what kind of like bookshelf design I wanted, so I just kind of threw some barrels in here, a couple composters. Don't even know if it looks like anything special, but it looks cool to me, so I'm gonna leave it. Back here we have another little room, another little bookshelf that actually takes you upstairs, and then up here we have a couple beds, because I figured I should probably breed some villagers up here, and we kind of did that same little like painting design as downstairs. Another one looks like you're potentially looking out on like a nighttime kind of landscape. Looks pretty cool, in my opinion, even if you don't see it as a window. I think it just looks nice. This other room then back here just has another separate bookshelf, a couple leaves sticking through this one. I think it looks really cool in here. It's pretty cozy. And I also just had a leftover lectern, so just plopped it down right there. I do want to throw in like a fence gate right here, probably, just so the villagers are stuck back here. I don't want them actually leaving just yet. Maybe I'll have some like roaming villagers at some point. But for now, I want to keep them all in their houses. I don't think the villagers can take damage from this. I'm worried maybe like a kid could. So maybe I'll villager proof this a little bit, the stairway a little bit more as well. I'm going to say it's good for now though. Oh, I should also point this out. The roof, the ceiling. It's also the floor for the upstairs. Have this like funky little design. I think it looks cool. I also saw this on Twitter, I want to say, but I don't think I liked the tweet. So honestly, I have no idea who gave me this idea. I'm sorry about that. I usually like, you know, shouting out whoever gave me the idea. I have no idea who this was. But I thought it looked cool. I think they used it as a floor or something, and I figured I could use it as the ceiling and the floor. Okay, well, at this point then, I should probably work on getting some villagers over here. Let me go ahead, though, and villager-proof this place first. Let me get that fence gate that I was talking about. All right, now with this, the villagers should be stuck in here once I actually get them in there. Because the villagers cannot open fence gates. I don't think I actually pointed this out as well, but I'm using copper trap doors for the windows. I want these all to be oxidized down. I want them to be like the final stage. So they're kind of all working on that at the moment. Some of them are more oxidized than others. And also the back is a little bit bare. I didn't want to just go crazy with the windows, so I just left this one and this wall like kind of completely bare. Whatever, it looks fine. I probably won't be behind this building too often, so I think it'll be all right. Anyway, I think this build turned out really well, by the way. This is one of my favorite builds I've probably just ever done, straight up. I feel like I say that with like every new build I have in this world, but I'm a huge fan of how this one turned out, man. And this kind of looks like a library to me. Fits the vibe. It looks great. It looks great. Okay, anyway, let me go get a villager. I actually only need one because we do have the zombified villager like over there underground. Yeah, the villager's still here. Zombified Jim. If you didn't watch season 2 of Hardcore Minecraft, you might not understand that reference, but I call all my villagers Jim. They all have the same name. They're all Jim. So let me go get an alive Jim, not a zombified Jim. So there's this abandoned village over here, but I'm fairly certain there's also a regular village. If not, I could just try to cure another one of these villagers. Okay, yeah, I thought so. There's the regular village right there. All right, you look like as good a Jim as any. Come here, friend. Get in the boat. Get in the boat. There we go. All right, come on, friend. Though I don't really think this Jim would consider me a friend if it was able to think for itself. What do you think of the area, Jim? Looks pretty good, right? This is you. This is you right here. This is your spot. Isn't it just the best? Like the greatest thing you've ever seen? This infrastructure is way better than the one you had at the village, right? So much better. There's more than 3 blocks in this. You don't look very excited. You're gonna love being a librarian. You'll love it. I'm not like most Minecraft content creators, okay? You're gonna have a whole house to walk through. You're not just gonna be stuck in a 1 by 2 hole. All right, it's easy. Just right inside. You can do this. That's not the right way. Where are you going? Where could you possibly be trying to get to? There was a door right there. Like, what are you attached to? Okay, whatever. That works, I guess. Did you go upstairs? Awesome, you did. I'll take a nap with you, Jim. All right, for the time being, I'm gonna trap this Jim in this room. I'll eventually convert them into a librarian. It'll be fine. Let me head to the Nether, though. I'm gonna clear out my inventory first because I need some blaze rods. And this, I think, will be the first time I've actually entered that Nether fortress. I don't need many. I'm not gonna collect all the blaze rods that, like, I'll need for my Eyes of Ender or anything. I'm not gonna do all that just now. I'll literally just collect like 1 or 2, just so I have enough to fuel up my brewing stand and also to make one. I'm honestly unsure if I even have one. It's just right down here then. It is really convenient that we have this so close. Though I need to fix up this Nether at some point, dude. It looks horrible in here. All right, let me break my way in. That's probably not the most ideal way to do this. And all right, let's go try to find some blaze. Oh, right here. And that was 2. That's actually all we need. I'll take some diamonds as well. Why not? And honestly, I'm just gonna leave with that. That'll be enough for right now. I do have a brewing stand already, which is really nice. What do I need? I need a fermented spider eye, piece of gunpowder. The mushroom, I think, is needed for the fermented spider eye, and I also need sugar. Yes, okay, so I need a fermented spider eye, and then the gunpowder, and obviously some bottles. All right, so I'm eventually gonna have my brewing set up, like, in this tower. A lot of people suggested that. That was also, like, always my plan. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video, but I always intended on having my brewing set up in here. For the time being, though, I'm just gonna put it there. I'll design this eventually. All right, so we're gonna power this bad boy up, put 3 bottles in there, put the fermented spider eye in, and when that's done, put some gunpowder in. Alrighty, let's make this a splash potion of weakness. And there's the advancement for local brewery. Love it. Let's do one of those. And then one of those. And then I should just be able to go off, do my own thing, and then I'll get the advancement whenever the villager gets converted. Cool. All right, let me start transporting all these materials back to my storage room. And there we go. The zombie has been cured. I'm not even close to finishing putting away all these materials yet either. All right, let me take a quick break in cleaning out these chests to actually move the villager into the house with the other villager. Then I can actually start breeding these. I'm not gonna go crazy with breeding the villagers, but I'll do it a couple times probably just to populate this area. I should probably grab my lead. All right, come on. Just go right through the painting. There we go. All right, villager should be locked in. And now you're a librarian. Oh, I hope they can't. I'm unsure if they'll be able to get out using that, so actually... Okay, now you're a farmer. Villagers can be so so frustrating sometimes. Okay, let me put this like there. Yeah, fine. Works for me. Go to a lectern. Okay, thank you. Cool. And now you should also still be around the area, right? You're just up here. Awesome. Okay, now I just have to get that villager to be a librarian as well, and then we're kind of chilling. Can we also go ahead and just make some bread for these villagers? Is 42 enough? I actually don't even know. I have a ton of wheat, so it honestly doesn't matter. There we go, a stack and 21. That should be plenty to make them breed. But hopefully with all that bread, they can actually start breeding. Let's see. All of these beds should be accessible, right? I think that's like a stipulation with villagers. They need to be able to actually sleep in the beds. There we go. Hold on. Is it working? Should work. Yeah, it worked. Let's go. Little Jim. I am worried about Little Jim, though. Will Little Jim take damage from this? I don't think so, right? I mean, I don't take damage. Little Jim could be more fragile, though. I think we're okay. Or even is Little Jim? Oh. Alright. Alright, so I cleared out all the chests, but I did keep one over here to kind of have all the materials I think I'm going to need for this tree. So, as you can see, we're going with a different kind of like trunk color. So, normally I would go with spruce wood and maybe like some oak. But I think I'm going to do this one out of tough. A lot of people make trees like this now. It makes sense because, you know, like actual trees are pretty gray. They're not really that brown. Sometimes they are, but I feel like for the most part, it's closer to gray. And also, I want to make this tree a bit different, just in the sense that I'm going to use mainly walls, I think. So, let me see if I can get a decent tree shape here. Ooh, I'm not feeling too confident about this one. I honestly don't think it's going to be a very large tree, but it's going to look very different from what I'm used to making. I'm trying to get weird with these trees because I also have some stained glass. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty tiny tree, but I kind of think this works. I don't think the chains on top are going to work. Like, I was hoping maybe that would just look like really, really thin branches. Let me peel back. Yeah, nah. I just think they're going too, like, vertical, you know? I wish I could kind of have those, like, fall off to the side, but it doesn't really work that way. That's fine. I think this looks alright for the most part. It looks a little bit strange up close, because you can really see the glass. But I feel like peeling back, this doesn't look that bad, actually. I think I'm going to keep that as the base of the tree. Now, let me just throw on some of these leaves. We're going to mainly use azalea leaves, I think. And I do want to get some more short grass, though. Where did my pickaxe go? Okay. I want to get some more short grass. Shouldn't need too much. Let me just kind of carve away at a little bit of this around here. That should be plenty. Now, let me get the leaves on top of this. And I don't want these to fall down too far. I want them mainly reserved for, like, the top of the tree. Then in just a few of these spots, I'm going to throw in some of this moss. And then I wanted the short grass to put on top of the moss. I think that looks really nice. That actually looks like a pretty good tree, honestly. The bottom's a little bit weird. There's, like, right angle there. But I think I could probably fix that. There's a stair going to be too much. No, that actually kind of works. Yeah, that's a tree. Hold on. Let me sleep, and then you can kind of see it in the daylight. I think this tree turned out really good. Man. I've always seen people make trees out of tuff, and I just never thought I'd be able to do it. But that works, dude. That's so much better than this one over here, I think. And we can put a lantern in the tree like that. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, let me put a bench out here. Oh, do not tell me I only have one sign. Where are the rest of my signs? Okay, there we go. Yeah, that works, man. It's a little spot to, like, hang out under a tree and read a book. Also, just gonna sprinkle in just, like, a couple bushes just to kind of, like, frame out this area a little bit better. Add a couple over here. And maybe, like, one more back there. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then, I do want to come in with some of this grass, though I only have 9 pieces of it. Yeah, let me go grab some more. I want to fill this in with that short grass. I'd rather do this than bone meal, I think, for this area. Yeah, and then just a little pathway extending off to that area. And this is looking good. Oh, I wanted to break in some mossy cobblestone. I forgot to do that. And I might as well put some acacia leaves on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, okay, let me not be lazy. I was gonna just send it with only these leaves, but I think the acacia leaves will just look a tad bit better at the bottom. Oh, that's cool, dude. I like that a lot. Incredibly subtle. But I think that's good. To me, that doesn't look like a stone tree. You know, I was worried that if I made a tree out of tuff, it would just look like I made a tree out of stone. But to me, that doesn't look like that. That kind of just looks like a tree to me. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. This is an interesting one, but I think I like it. I hope I'm not just trying to convince myself to like it. Okay, now let me clean up my inventory. And then I'll just finish up this path, and that'll be it for this episode. Alright, so I think this build is now completely done. All I did was just add a little bit of coarse dirt, kind of bordering the pathway, and I also just put in a couple more benches. And I moved this one over a little bit. I think it looks a little bit better here. I can put the signs on the back this way. So, I think this works. Overall, though, I'm really happy with how this area turned out. It's a cool little vibe over here. I think it fits in with my little village city thing that I've been building. And also, it's very functional. I will have to go in here and, like, manually throw these villagers food, but I definitely don't mind doing that. I think they're all still in here. They certainly are. Fire protection 1. Not a great book, but it's fine. I will get some better books on these guys eventually. Oh, there's some more villagers in here now. And there's another baby somewhere. Oh, is this still the same baby from before? Are you stuck, little man? Why do you like going back there so much? Oh, wait, I think I see why. You probably want to jump on the bed. I have no idea if you wanted to jump on the bed. Maybe you just missed your parent. Whatever. Anyway, we have all these villagers in here now. I will actually get them to work probably next episode. I think it's finally about time I get mending. And also I can just populate the other areas of my little civilization with some villagers now. This was a good episode, man. This was so needed. Anyway, though, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I'll talk to you guys soon. How far can I zoom in? I can't tell if I'm even going in anymore. Anyway, bye.